WTIM.
Welcome in to WTIM, your information station. My name is Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Before we get going with another great conversation here, let's thank our sponsors that make it possible. People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better at Landmark. In the studio now, we have the Taylorville Chief of Police, Chief Wheeler. How are you doing today, Chief Wheeler?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for taking the time being in here with me today. We got some interesting topics to cover today, so let's get right into them. There was a recent arrest made of a man named Roy Bates. So tell me a little bit about this. It seemed like a struggle for the officers, but it seems like everything turned out okay.
Yeah, it did. Thank God. It was a routine, arrest for a violation of order of protection. But the subject had looks like he has some mental issues going on, and also drug induced, and he got real combative with the officers. And one officer got sliced, and he actually went right for his throat with a box cutter, and he got sliced right here pretty bad, and a couple inches or inch and a half down would have hit his carotid artery and probably would have killed him. So yeah, it was, I tell you, I'm proud of everyone that was there. There was a lot of us there to take control of this guy. We used everything on our belt that we could, non-lethal, to stop this guy. Tasers had no effect whatsoever on this gentleman. He must have been tasered several times. Also, mace had no effect on him. It had more effect on the officers and him. The restraint that the officers held that day, I'll never forget it. There was so many times, I hate to say it, that there was times where lethal force was justified and they held back. And I was there also too. And it's just, he was way outnumbered, but, we got him detained, and officers did get hurt. But, it's one thing today's, officers are hesitating today. I mean, the culture has changed, and not saying hesitation of using lethal force, really getting on somebody and stopping them. But it was a day to remember. I'll never forget. And I've been around doing this a long time. I've been in situations like this before, and it's not uncommon in Taylorville for us to have people run from us and also fight with us and things like that. But this was a whole different animal. This was really, a fight to the end. And I'm just glad that, our officers are okay. And also, the defendant's okay too. So it all worked out.
Absolutely. A little injury update on the officers that were hurt. It seemed like some gruesome injuries.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the two sergeants that were there got hurt the most. One had a concussion, staples in his head. He was hit with a pipe with knives on the side of it. And the other officer, like I said, he was cut in the face pretty deep with a box cutter. So, but it was we're going to thank the officers at our next council meeting, and we're going to have a special guest come by and present them with an award. So, and we got some other things coming that we did order for them. That's everything. It seems like you order, it takes time to get anymore. Yeah. But I commend all of them, and they all just did a fantastic job, and just the restraint they held from not using lethal force was really, really amazing.
Just happy to hear that the safety of those officers and their road recovery has been successful thus far, and that's good to hear. Talk to me a little bit about this restraint and about this hesitation you called it. Maybe a couple of different words there. There's a couple things working on them. They want to be restrained, of course. They don't want to use lethal force if they don't have to, but also there's legislation factors that they think about.
Yeah, police work has changed today. I mean, it's lethal force is is the last option you ever want to use on someone. And then again, officers, are hesitating because the culture of policing today has changed. The lawsuits are up tremendously. I just, I do a lot of research. I love research, and that I'm studying for my PhD right now. So research is what I do every day. And once I get off work, I'm still working. But I like to research and see what's going on. And hesitation has been a huge key all over America today. That the officers are hesitating, and officers are getting hurt by doing this.
Seems as though, that hesitation is causing hesitation in any given factor like that. When you're dealing with a very high intensity situation, hesitation can't be around. So it's great that they are safe now, and that they're dealing with these changes in legislation, the changes in policing. As we're talking about changes, you say there's some changes over at Taylorville Police Department. What's going on?
Yeah, you know what? As a leader of the department, I believe in change. I think we have a young department. We got really good officers. One thing about me is I want them trained, okay, and I want results, and that's the key. You could talk the talk, but you got to have the results. So what I like to do is, if you are in a special assignment, for example, as a detective, a school resource officer, task force officer, you're going to be in a minimum amount of time. And so what I like to do is instead of having someone be a detective for 10 years, I don't believe in that. I think, it should be 3 years, definitely 3 years minimum.
Sure.
And then give someone else a shot. And that way, you can move people around, and then that person can go back on patrol. But now you got a person who's on patrol who's got experience.
Yeah.
So what the changes we're making now is we'll put a new detective up upstairs in our detective division, and then he's coming off the street, going upstairs. Then I have 2 detectives that are we are promoting to sergeants on. Actually, they'll be really sergeants on the 12th, but we're going to swear them in on the 20th at the council meeting. And they're both going back on the street as supervisors on the shift. So, what's nice about that is you're going to have experienced officers on the street that's been, that are well-rounded.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do. You have to, that's how I was brought up in police work. Is I had really good mentors that, they would do different assignments, and I was able to do a lot of different things in my career. So I think it's great to have these young guys to move around a little bit and, look forward. If you want to be a detective, work hard, do good reports, okay, put your name on the list, get interviewed, and if you get chosen, then you're a detective. And then if you want to be a sergeant, take the test, and there's a process to go through with that, and then you become sergeant. So it's nice to see these guys advancing.
Yeah. Well-rounded was the exact word I was going to use. Getting a comprehensive look at every aspect of every part of the department there, it's just going to make your job as an officer a little bit easier at every given level there. So you're saying like a detective would work there for a few years, and having that knowledge that they gain from a detective, they could take that and easily apply that into a patrolling unit.
Oh, sure. You know what? Instead of calling detectives out at 3 o'clock in the morning of an incident, there already been detectives,
right.
and they could probably handle it themselves, and also they could teach the other patrolmen on their shift.
Wow.
Okay. Also,
Yeah.
They could be a mentor to these patrolmen that are young, these young officers, that if something does happen, that they could show them how to do it. And we all know report writing is the key to a successful conviction, and detectives know how to write reports. So
it's a great system you got implemented over there. I really like the sound of that. But to wrap up our first segment here, it does not matter if you're a detective or a first year. Trash at the square needs to stop.
Oh, it's over. It's done. Here, downtown Taylorville they're doing a fantastic job. You could see the downtown growing. Okay, yeah. New businesses want to come in town, and the trash at the square. I'm getting some heat over it. Okay, from my board, my mayor. And I don't blame them. You know, I don't. So, you know, we have better things to do, but we will not tolerate. We're zero tolerance on trash. Okay. If you get caught littering on the square, it's going to be a $750 fine. And that's the last thing we want to do. Okay. Because that might be someone's mortgage that the parents are going to have to pay because the 15, 16-year-old student doesn't have that. But if that's what it's going to take to stop it, we have to stop it. I mean, please, parents, tell the children, just put your trash in your car or throw it in the trash can. Don't throw it on the square. Citizens are picking up this trash every single day. It's done. It's over with. I have officers that are looking for this. Camera's going to go up, and we're going to catch you, and it's over. It's done.
All right.
It's it.
We got a beautiful Taylorville Square with businesses moving in, and this is the time to keep it clean. Keep your own city clean right there. You heard Chief Wheeler right there. And that is Chief Wheeler of the Taylorville Police Department. We're taking ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we will have more from the Chief of the Taylorville Police Department. My name is Tim Zalabak, and you are listening to the WTIM Morning Show right here on WTIM, your information station.
Your information station, WTIM.
Let's check the markets now. The RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn and beans lower. Wheat trading higher. March corn down 2 1/4, 436.5. May corn down 1 3/4, 448 3/4. December new crop 476 1/4, down a penny. March beans 11.89 3/4, down 9 3/4. May beans down 9 3/4, 11.98 1/2. November new crop 11.71 3/4, down 5 3/4. March wheat 603 1/4, up 8 1/4. July wheat up 6 1/4, 612. March bean meal 355.60, down 320. March bean oil up 12 cents, 46.06. Livestock market at this hour. March feeders up 15 cents, 246.82. February live cattle down 37 cents, 182.62. February lean hog 74.20, up 72 cents. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
This is Bill Wise with the latest Appetite for Pork report. Today, I'm talking with Dr. David Newman, Senior Vice President of Market Growth at National Pork Board, about how your pork checkoff dollars are working to bring more U.S. pork to tables around the world. Dr. Newman, the pork checkoff is always working to drive demand for U.S. pork. For consumers here at home, how are you encouraging them to buy more?
Traditionally, the consumer in the U.S. has been from the boomer generation. They've been heavy pork users. They know what they like. But as boomers start to eat less pork and they start to exit the marketplace, we need to be focused on this consumer of the future, millennials and Gen Zs. They have tremendous purchasing power. And as that purchasing power shifts into these new generations, we need to make pork relevant to these buyers.
Thanks again, David, for talking with us today about how the pork checkoff is building a bigger appetite for U.S. pork. You can find out more information at porkcheckoff.org/radio.
The Shelby County Economic Development Corporation aims to foster, promote, and stimulate economic development, from keeping existing industry and retail businesses successful and thriving to attracting new investment in Shelby County. The Shelby County Economic Development Corporation is here to help your business grow. It also sponsors job fairs to fill positions at existing employers and encourages future entrepreneurs in the Shelby County CEO program. Find out more on the Shelby County Economic Development Corporation by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Hi, this is Andrea Bach from the Christian County YMCA, where it's all about youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. Find out about our great programs and activities at your local YMCA by clicking our icon on the obituary page of TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Taylorville Care Center offers therapy to help you recover and return home as quickly as possible, with private rooms for rehab to home. Find out more by clicking the Taylorville Care Center icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. My name is Tim Zalabak, your host. And before we continue with this great conversation, let's thank our sponsors that make it possible. People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better at Landmark. Today, we're talking with Chief Wheeler, the Chief of Taylorville Police Department. We went through a couple of different changes from the Taylorville Police Department and some trash at the square conversation right there. No more trash on the Taylorville Square. It's a beautiful square. We got to keep it clean. We're going to talk about some an employment opportunity with the Taylorville Police Department. Take it from here.
Yeah, we have one right now in the academy. Lindsay Coy, she's doing a great job. I get reports on her weekly, and she's just amazing.
Great.
And I'm happy for her. And we're looking to hire a lateral transfer.
Okay.
So we'll be fully staffed at that point.
Okay.
And and it's great. We're in contract negotiations right now. We'll see how that goes. That that's always, we don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens. Sure. But I think we'll be fine. We have a good union. We got a good board, mayor. They understand, and we'll get past that. But also, I do want to, TPD is cheering for the varsity girls. So, let's do it. Let's take it all the way to the state.
All the way to state.
Let's go.
Talked a little bit about that over the break. And yes, the girls basketball team for Taylorville, they have Chief Wheelers. And the
let's
entire
do it.
Taylorville Police Department.
Let's do it.
That's really
Let's
awesome.
get it done, girls.
Absolutely. Thanks for adding that in. That's awesome. When you talk about a lateral transfer, I'm sorry if I don't know exactly what that means. Explain a lateral transfer.
Is already a trained officer.
Okay.
Yeah, who's been through the academy and the FTO process, and also, but once we do have a lateral transfer at our department, we still put them through our field training. So it's train.
Sure.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
We always train. Yesterday we had training, some hand-to-hand combat training, which Sergeant Withrow and Lieutenant Toberman do. Last week we had emergency response team training. We train. I tell you, our department trains, and we have to. It's great when it comes to litigation. If something happens, to show look at all the training that we do. So it always helps. Our community action team has got investigations going right now. And we all know we got several departments on the team, and we help. We always help each other. We got Stonington right now over at our police department, and John McWard came over last night, went over some stuff with us too. So it's great to have that team environment, and we all work together. So it's great.
That constant training, it's not something I've thought about, but now that I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I hope all police departments out there are constantly working, because the job is never, set in stone. It's an always evolving job.
It's you gotta look for one, it's safety. You got good trained officers, and number three, like I said, these lawsuits come up all the time, and when you have a good trained officer and you got paperwork backing up that you train in any type of litigation, it always helps.
Sure. Chief, we're in our final 2 minutes here, and we got a couple more things to cover. Would you like to talk about some of the new equipment, some of the new squads over at the Taylorville Police Department?
Yeah, we do have, we got that new Charger. We have another new Charger, which is we're waiting for some equipment. Hopefully that'll be up and running on the streets in the next couple weeks. Then we got a couple more Explorers coming in, and then we'll get a couple more in the next 2 or 3 months. Cool. So, our fleets get aging, so we have to, we don't run them 24 hours a day, which is good. We run them 12-hour shifts, and then they take a 12-hour breather. So, but we do have some old ones that has to go and retire, and we got to go from there. Also retire. We had a K9 that retired, so we have a new K9 officer. He's going to be going to school soon, and so we're looking forward to that.
Sure. Just recently read about that K9. That'll be another great asset there for the Taylorville Police Department. Final words for our listeners here. We're in our last 30 seconds.
No, you know what? I just want to thank the citizens always for helping us, with all types of criminal activity, and also the ones that are giving and that help people in need.
Absolutely.
And I really truly am humbled by the amount of people that call me daily and say they got this to give away to somebody in need. And then I I have a list of people who need things that we vet, that I vet, and I know that they truly need it. So I really truly, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate the citizens for doing that for us.
Chief, thank you so much for being here with
You're
us
welcome.
today.
You're
That's
welcome.
Chief Wheeler, the Taylorville Police Department Chief, and I'm Tim Zalabak, your host of the WTIM Morning Show. Thank you all for listening.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W240.